The screen lights up again, but it's empty, no message, no call. Just the reflection of your face staring back, searching for something that isn't coming. You check again, not because you expect anything new, but because hope is a habit now. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't give you a reason. She just disappeared, slowly fading into silence like a song that ends mid-note. And that silence, it's louder than any argument, heavier than any breakup speech. You find yourself stuck in a loop, rewatching old messages, overanalyzing the last conversation, asking yourself if she's done, or just waiting for you to fall apart. You want to say something, fix something, do something, but you don't even know what's broken. That's what makes this unbearable. It's not closure, it's confusion. You're trying to move forward, but your mind keeps dragging you backward into memories you didn't agree to let go of yet. And here's what stings the most. She didn't block you. She left the door open just wide enough for doubt to creep in. That space between silence and goodbye is cruel because it makes you question everything you're worth, your actions, even your sanity. And deep down, you fear that her silence isn't indifference, it's strategy, like she's watching. From the shadows, waiting to see if you beg, break, or become someone new. That space between you isn't just distance, it's a test. One that you didn't sign up for but can't avoid. Every second you sit in that silence wondering if she's done is a second you hand over your power. But maybe, just maybe, this isn't about her anymore. Maybe it's about who you are without her voice in your ear, without her approval on your mind. And maybe that's where your real story begins. She hasn't spoken, but she's still present in your thoughts, in your habits, in the way you keep checking your phone like it owes you an answer. The silence is unnerving because it isn't just absence as a mirror, and what it reflects is uncomfortable. You start to notice how much of your happiness was wrapped around her attention. The good morning texts used to give your day structure. The late night calls were your calm before sleep. Her words were your emotional oxygen. Now that it's gone, you feel like you're suffocating. But what you're really experiencing is withdrawal, not from love, but from dependency. The hardest truth to face is this: she might be watching. Not in a cruel way, but with quiet intention. She's pulled back, not to vanish, but to observe. She wants to see who you become without her claps, without her comforting words. Are you still whole, or were you only stable because she was holding you together? Most men break here. They chase. They beg. They send long messages trying to make sense of something they don't understand. But the man who doesn't panic, who doesn't crumble in the quiet, that man becomes rare. She might not say it out loud, but she feels it when you don't chase. She notices when your life doesn't fall apart just because she's no longer front row. Every step you take without needing her applause sends a message louder than any words. You're not punishing her with silence. You're finding peace in your own. And in that peace, you begin to shift. You stop asking why she disappeared and start wondering why you ever needed her presence to feel complete. This is where the transformation begins, not in fixing the relationship, but in reclaiming yourself. Days pass, and the silence stretches. Like an invisible thread between you and her, tight, tense, ready to snap. You catch yourself drafting messages you'll never send. Checking her socials for signs she still cares, decoding every post like a secret message. But what you're starting to realize is that her silence might not be punishment, it might be an invitation. An invitation to stop reaching and start reflecting. She's not just gone quiet to hurt you. She may be pulling back to see how you respond when you're left with questions instead of answers. Most guys panic here. They flood her inbox. Call too. Many times try to fix what hasn't even been clearly broken. They fill the space with noise, hoping to get a reaction. But not you. You're learning not to chase someone who needed distance. You're beginning to understand that space doesn't mean rejection. It means reset. She's watching, even if from a distance, to see if you can handle not knowing. She wants to know if your sense of self can survive the unknown. And the truth is, you're starting to breathe differently. The urge to chase is still there, but you're not letting it rule you. Instead of spiraling, you're focusing. You're channeling your energy back into your life, your habits, your goals, your evolution. She might be waiting to see if you'll run after her, but you're showing her something more powerful. You're staying still, grounded, aligned. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough about yourself to grow in the silence. You're not filling the void with desperate words, you're learning to fill it with purpose. And in that space, something shifts. You stop waiting for closure and start creating a new chapter, one that doesn't depend on her return to have value. The longer the silence lingers, the more it exposes. Not just her absence, but everything within you that was hidden by noise, your doubts, your fears, your emotional habits. You notice how quick your mind is to turn pain into stories, how easily it fills the gap with worst-case scenarios. She with someone else? Did she ever care? Was it all one-sided? These questions don't bring answers, they bring chaos. And chaos is what she's watching for. Not because she wants to see you suffer, but because she wants to see who you are under pressure. Most men crack here. They react. They post cryptic quotes, send passive-aggressive messages, try to force a response through guilt or attention-seeking. But you're learning not to play that game. You're recognizing the value of restraint. Not silence out of spite, but silence born from strength. She may never know how much you wanted to reach out, how many times you hovered over the send button, but what she will feel deeply is your stability. You didn't lash out. You didn't beg. You held your frame. That's what starts to shift the dynamic, because silence is a test of leadership. It asks, can you hold peace without participation? Can you move forward without needing a map? The man who can stay centered while everything feels uncertain, he becomes unforgettable. Not because he's cold, but because he's calm. You're not ignoring her. You're respecting the space she created. And instead of mirroring her withdrawal out of ego, you're using the moment to master your own presence. You're building a kind of peace that doesn't require approval, a kind of power that doesn't chase to be seen. And when a man finds that, even silence begins to speak in his favor. There comes a point when the silence no longer hurts. It humbles you. What used to feel like rejection now feels like redirection. You stop pacing, stop obsessing, and begin standing still with purpose. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you've started caring more about yourself. The questions are still there, but they no longer control you. You've realized you may never get the apology, the explanation, or the closure you once begged for, and somehow, that's okay, because now you understand something deeper. Peace isn't found in her return. It's found in your decision to keep going without it. She might never reach out again. You may never know if she walked away out of confusion, fear, or finality. But it no longer changes your path. You've been tested in the dark, and you've learned how to walk without the light. It's growth. That's freedom. She was a chapter important, yes, but not your whole story. And now that the pages have stopped turning on their own, you're writing again. Not waiting for her to return and resume the narrative, but creating something new from the silence she left behind. You don't hate her. You don't resent her. In fact, you're grateful, because without her silence, you would have never heard your own voice so clearly. You would have never seen your own strength so vividly. What was once a wound has become wisdom. The ache has become awareness. And now, when you look in the mirror, you don't see someone waiting. You see someone becoming. You're no longer defined by her presence or undone by her distance. You've built something solid inside you, something no silence can shake. And whether she ever returns or not, one truth remains. You rose, not because she came back, but because you never stopped becoming.